Installing a new shower door is easier than you think. First, make sure to read the instruction manual for your Delta Mod shower door. Don't skip parts of the video, as you may miss key steps, and consult the manual for more information. Then, check that you have all the tools required for this install. Don't forget safety equipment like safety glasses, closed-toed shoes, and non-slip cut-resistant gloves. You'll also need 2 people for this install, so make sure to have someone else on hand. Next, you'll want to make sure that your shower door can fit in your enclosure. Measure the height, making sure the distance from sill to ceiling is over 74 inches. 63 3/4 inches if you are installing into an enclosure with a tub. Then, check the width of your enclosure, first at the bottom, and then 6 feet up the wall. Most walls aren't perfect, so these measurements most likely will differ. As long as the difference is less than 3/8 of an inch, and both measurements are within the 50 1/8 to 58 1/2 inch size requirements for our 60-inch door, or 43 3/8 to 47 3/8 inch size requirements for our 48-inch door, this door can be installed in your enclosure. If your enclosure has an acrylic surround, you'll need to check its wall height as well. This height needs to be more than 71 1/4 inch for our shower enclosures, or more than 59 inches for our tub enclosure. You'll also need to figure out if there's a stud near the front of your enclosure, as this is critical for an install. Once the center of the stud is found, mark its location at the bottom of the enclosure. The outer edge of the sill should be at least 2.5 inches away from this mark, and the inside edge of the sill needs to be at least 1/2 inch from this mark. If after double checking, all these measurements match the requirements, the door can be installed in your enclosure. If you have any questions about these measurements, call or email us here. Now, make sure you have all the components listed in the instruction manual, and that there aren't any stowaways hiding in pieces of packaging. It is also a good idea to tape over the drain as to not lose anything during the install. And be aware, there are 2 types of screw anchors that come with each shower door. One is used when installing into hollow acrylic parts of an enclosure, and a more standard tile anchor for the parts of the enclosure that are more solid, like tile or marble. Tile or marble surfaces should also be drilled with tile drill bits. Regular drill bits tend to crack tiles and should be avoided. Also, be very careful with each glass panel. The glass is tempered, which is stronger than normal glass, but not unbreakable. If hard materials, such as tile or metal, contact the glass, it could damage it and cause it to break. For this reason, please leave corner protectors on the glass until prompted to remove, and only place the glass on soft materials like cardboard or styrofoam when it is not on the shower door track. Lastly, this is important, when cutting the top track or dam strip, it is crucial that you are certain all measurements and marks are correct. A miscut track could completely ruin an install, and is key to a successful install. If at any point you have an issue, call this number, or email us here. The bottom of your enclosure may not come to a perfect right angle. To accommodate this, transfer the corner profile onto the component using a coin or other marking tool. You can then use tin snips or a file to trim out this mark. Otherwise, continue installing the door as before. Place the corner bumper into the location against the sill and side wall as shown. Tape the bumper in place and repeat with the remaining bumper. Using a stud finder, ensure that each of the side walls has a stud near the front of the enclosure. Mark the edges of the studs as shown. Place the collar template against the wall of the shower enclosure, ensuring it's on top of the bumper and at 7/8 of an inch from the front edge of the sill. Using a level, make sure the collar template is vertically level and tape in place. There may be 2 sets of holes on the guide, one for tub enclosures and one for shower enclosures. For shower enclosures, mark the top 2 holes of the collar template with a pencil, and then remove the template. For tub enclosures, mark the bottom 2 holes in the collar template, and then remove the template. Double check that the hole locations marked are within the vertical stud marks, as these lines denote the stud's location. Most shower enclosures are made from either tile or acrylic. If the wall is tile, avoid cracking your tile by using a tile drill bit to drill a 1/8 inch pilot hole, followed by a 5/16 of an inch final hole. If the wall is acrylic, use a regular drill bit to drill a 1/8 inch pilot hole, followed by a 3/8 of an inch final hole. Insert appropriate anchors. Install the collar and secure with 2 screws. The angled corners of the collars should face up as shown. Hand tighten until fully secured. Then repeat for the other side of the enclosure. Measure the distance of the upper shower enclosure by measuring just above the collars. Be sure to double check the accuracy of this measurement. Using a pencil or other marking tool, like masking tape, mark this distance on the top track. Be sure to double check the accuracy of this measurement. After you've double checked the measurement, use a miter box and a fine-tooth saw to cut the top track. Lower the top track onto the installed collars to check the fit. Any gaps must be less than 1/8 of an inch on either side. If the top track is too long, use the metal file to remove additional material and smooth rough edges. Remove the top track to install the dampers. To install the dampers, place the damper template into the correct position at one end of the top track. For proper hole placement, holes in the damper template should be centered with the alignment grooves. Mark these holes on the top track in the alignment grooves. Remove the damper template and repeat these steps with the other end of the top track. With the track held securely, drill a 1/8 inch pilot hole at each location marked. Next, re-drill the holes using a 1/4 inch bit for all 8 locations. Use a metal file to smooth out any rough edges on the underside of the track and clean out any metal shavings. Slide the damper into one end of the top track and align its holes with the newly drilled ones in the track. Make sure the catch mechanism on the damper is facing the closer end of the top track. Secure the damper assembly to the top track with screws and nuts. Hand tighten with the screwdriver to secure, and repeat with all 4 dampers. Set the dampers by sliding the catch mechanism towards the center of the top track until they lock into place. Repeat with all 4 dampers. Lower the top track onto the installed collars. Install the retention plate by inserting it into the top track and turning it 90 degrees. Attach it to the collar with the appropriate screw, and hand tighten until fully secure. Repeat for the remaining retention plate. Take one glass panel out of the box and lay it down on a soft material, such as cardboard. Inspect the glass for any damage, such as chips or scratches, that could have occurred in transit. If any damage is found, do not attempt to return the panel to the seller. Instead, contact us here. As mentioned before, the glass is strong but not unbreakable and should be handled with care. Uncovered glass should not encounter hard surfaces like tile or metal, and corner protectors should be left on the glass until prompted to remove. Also, check to see if your glass has a pre-installed glazing channel along its bottom edge. If not, you'll have to install these components as per your manual's instructions. Do not skip these components, as they protect the glass from breakage and assist with water retention. With the glass inspected, remove the screw and cover from the roller assembly. Disassemble the roller clamp, gasket, and bushings from the roller base by removing the screws with a screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the other roller assembly. Place the bushings into the holes at the top of the glass panel, and align the roller gasket holes with the bushings. These components are very important. If the metal roller contacts the glass, it could damage the glass and lead it to break. Install the roller by aligning the slot on the roller clamp with the tab on the roller base. Keep in mind, the wheels on the roller should be on the same side as the glass label. Secure with screws through the bushings, hand tightening until fully secured. Install the roller covers, securing them with the screws. Repeat with the second roller assembly. With someone else's assistance and the rollers facing towards the shower enclosure, install the door by carefully lifting the glass panel at an angle into the top track, lowering it onto the innermost slot as it is brought back to vertical. Keep in mind, the steps for the outside door are similar but not exactly the same. Take the remaining glass panel out of the box and lay it down on a soft material such as cardboard. Inspect the glass for any damage, such as chips or scratches that could have occurred in transit. If any damage is found, do not attempt to return the panel to the seller. Instead, contact us here. As mentioned before, the glass is strong but not unbreakable and should be handled with care. Uncovered glass should not encounter hard surfaces like tile or metal. and corner protectors should be left on the glass until prompted to remove. Uncovered glass should not encounter hard surfaces like tile or metal, and corner protectors should be left on the glass until prompted to remove. Also, check to see if your glass has a pre-installed glazing channel along its bottom edge. If not, you'll have to install these components as per your manual's instructions. With the glass inspected, remove the screw and cover from the roller assembly. Disassemble the roller clamp, gasket, and bushings from the roller base by removing the screws with the screwdriver. Repeat these steps with the other roller. Place the bushings into the holes at the top of the glass panel and align the roller gasket with the bushings. These components are very important. If the metal roller contacts the glass, it could damage the glass and lead it to break. Install the roller by aligning the slot on the roller clamp with the tab on the roller base. This time the wheel should be on the opposite side of the glass label. Secure with screws through the bushings, hand tightening until fully secured. Install the roller covers, securing them with the screws. Repeat with the second roller assembly. With someone else's assistance and the rollers facing away from the shower enclosure, install the door by carefully lifting the glass panel at an angle into the top track, lowering it onto the outermost slot as it is brought back to vertical. Until the center guide is installed, be mindful when moving the doors so they don't bump into each other. The distance from the bottom of the glass panels to the top of the sill should be between 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch. If either panel needs adjustment, carefully remove the door. You could change the height of the door by changing where the hanger screws and wheels are attached. To raise the panel, use the lower holes of the roller bracket. To lower the panel, use the higher holes of the roller bracket. Each door must have the same wheel configuration on both of its rollers. If the roller needed adjustment, the damper catch must also be adjusted. If the wheels were raised, the damper catch must also be raised. If the wheels were lowered, the damper catch must also be lowered. Hand tighten the damper catch screw until fully secured. With assistance, reinstall the doors as before. Measure the distance between the bumpers at the bottom of the enclosure. Be sure to double check the accuracy of this measurement. Mark this distance on the bottom track. Be sure to double check the accuracy of this measurement. After you've double checked the measurement, use a miter box and fine-tooth saw to cut the bottom track. Check the fit of the bottom track between the bumpers. Make sure the walled portion of the bottom track is towards the outside of the enclosure. If the bottom track is too long, use a metal file to remove additional material and smooth any rough edges. After checking the fit, remove the bottom track from the enclosure. Locate the center of the bottom track. Mark the center location using a pencil or other marking tools like masking tape. Drill a 1/8 inch hole in the alignment groove at this location. On the underside of the bottom track, apply a thick bead of sealant into its center channel. Place the bottom track on the sill such that the bottom track is aligned under the glass panels. The bottom track may overhang the inside of the sill. This is okay. Just ensure that it is secure and all sealant is wiped away after it is installed. Remove any excess sealant from the track area using the corner of a folded paper towel or cloth. Slide the center guide onto the center of the bottom track and align both holes. With the O-ring already placed, install from the front with the appropriate screw, hand tightening until fully secured. Cover the screw head with the trim cap. Secure the bottom track with tape while the silicone cures. Test fit a corner bumper with both glass panels. Mark the bumper's location using a pencil or masking tape. Slide the glass panels to the center of the enclosure and remove the corner bumper. Place silicone on the underside and back of the corner bumper. Then, reposition the bumper in the enclosure. Tape the bumper into place to secure it while it cures. Repeat for the remaining bumper. Find the two angled blade seals. On the inner glass panel, remove the corner protectors and install an angled blade seal on the edge of the glass closest to the shower head. With the blade angled into the enclosure, align the seal with the top of the glass panel, so the seal does not interfere with the bottom bumper. On the outer glass panel, remove the corner protectors and install the remaining angled blade seal on the edge of the glass, furthest from the shower head this time. With the blade angled into the enclosure, align it with the top of the glass panel so the seal does not interfere with the bottom bumper. Find the bladeless bumper seal and install it onto the other edge of the outer glass panel, ensuring it aligns with the top of the glass panel. The last seal is the regular blade seal. This component will have a straight blade. Install the blade seal to the remaining edge of the inner glass panel, ensuring it aligns with the top of the glass panel and that the blade portion faces outwards towards the outer door. Do not skip these seals, as they protect the glass from breakage and assist with water retention. Slide the doors towards the center of the enclosure. Use silicone sealant to seal around the ends of the top track and outside edges of the bottom track and bumpers. Do not use silicone sealant under the bottom track overhang. To install the handles, we will first need to disassemble them and then reassemble them on the door. Insert the bushings into the pre-drilled holes in the shower door. As mentioned before, these components are very important. If the metal roller contacts the glass, it could damage the glass and lead it to break. Install the first post onto the glass without fully tightening it, ensuring gaskets and bushings are placed before the posts are added. These components are very important. If the metal handle contacts the glass, it could damage the glass and lead it to break. Add the bar and second post onto the first post. We also recommend adding silicone between the bar and the post to keep the bar from rotating. Align the second post with the other hole and tighten both posts into place. Again, ensuring gaskets and bushings are used. Repeat with the other door and handle. Keep in mind, the handle for the interior door should point into the enclosure, and the handle for the exterior door should point out of the enclosure. Also, only use approved handle assemblies for this door, as clearances may not be compatible. Lastly, there's important safety and usage information on the glass door sticker. Only the door's user or owner should remove this sticker, as they need to be allowed to read this information. And there you have it, a brand new shower door to completely revamp your bathroom.